And a very good morning, everybody. Aloha kakahiaka. Let's try it. Aloha kakahiaka. Good job, yes. Misha from Slovenia, but if you forget my name, you can just shout chocolate. I'll turn around immediately. Together with Cisco and our Hawaiian ambassadors, we are here to help you explore, discover, and fall in love with this side of the world. And when I had my first coffee today, I remembered when I was just a little girl, I asked my grandmother, I said, why are we born if we someday have to die? And she said, it's the journey. And what a journey we are blessed with. Just look at this. Just look at this trip that we have in front of us. And we're focusing on our fourth port of call today, named coffee. I mean, Kailua Kona, known for events like Queen Lili Uokalani Regatta and also that international billfish tournament, and another one, the Ironman World Championship that actually dates back to 1978, attracting visitors from all over the world to this island of Hawaii. Named after Hawaii Iloa, legendary Portuguese explorer, a navigator who first discovered it. Other accounts actually are attributed to the name of the legendary realm of Hawaiki. But today, of course, Hawaii is also known as the Big Island, Volcano Island, Orchid Island, bigger than all of the islands combined. It's larger than the state of Connecticut. Yes, you've been listening. All right. So it has a population of about 1.5 million inhabitants living in this dry deserts, tropical rainforest. We have green, white, and black sandy beaches. They're surrounded with erupting volcanoes, the daily earthquakes, hot water springs, and some of the most dramatic waterfalls in Hawaii. Kailua Kona was actually the official capital back in the days when it was the Kingdom of Hawaii. And it's located on the dry side, which in Hawaiian they say leeward, leeward side. And so that for the sun and fun element are evident. And this is the Gold Coast, which was an excellent venue for history. Legend has it that it was the British sea captain James Cook, the first Westerner to lay eyes on the Hawaiian Islands. He and his crew aboard the Resolution and Discovery sighted Kealakekua Bay, and that was on the morning of January 17 back in 1779. So, several thousand people were living on the islands at the time, and they welcomed them with open arms, thinking that he was God Lono. But soon after, they discovered that he wasn't a god, and so he was probably killed in the hands of Hawaiians. A community that was established here by King Kamehameha, chief of Kona, also known as Kamehameha the Great, And he is also one of the most striving. He's a very striking figure in Hawaiian history, which shows that he was actually probably a part of the battle where Cook was killed in. A leader who united and ruled the islands during a time of great cultural change. Kona served as his seat, the seat of his government, and later it was designated as the capital and the newly unified Kingdom of Hawaii, as we said. And then back in 1819, a most critical event occurred in Kona, and that was inside the temple that we will see shortly as we move forward with our presentation. And so this one is Ahuena Heiau, And on this side, King Kamehameha II broke a taboo, A taboo, a law that was preventing men and women sitting together. And he dined with his mother and stepmother. When no harm came to the king, of course, that news spread over the villages and the temples, and the taboo was broken. So violence occurred all over the island, and the temples were destroyed. Almost overnight, Hawaiian people became a nation without a god, without religious laws. And then they followed those laws for centuries. So what that occurrence brought was, of course, opening the doors to the Christian missionaries that, of course, were able to convert the Hawaiians a bit easier. The historical highlights here are absolutely intriguing. And how blessed are we once again with Kainoa de la Cruz, our guest presenter. We will, of course, have another lecture happening today, which he will explain more about this island, and not only about the island, but also about the ports. Tomorrow we will have a port overview talk, which will happen right here in the main stage. But let's focus back to this idyllic retreat for Hawaiian royalty, which up until 1900s was actually primarily a small fishing village. And then between 20th and up to the 21st century, this region has undergone a big construction boom, yeah? Fueled by investments and us, yes, tourism. Good job. So Kona today is the Big Island's most popular playground. Look at this picture, absolutely alluring stretch of coastline, offering snorkeling and also kayaking adventures and enjoying the white and black beaches, escorted by the lush green coffee beans and the belts that are placed on the slopes of Mount Hualalai, yeah? Now, the location that I mentioned, of course, in the historical part of this talk is this, yeah? So this is the temple which we were referring to, and it was restored by the help of the Bishop Museum in Honolulu, and it's actually located on this small artificial island, and it's close to the beach. But this temple today is a temple of peace and prosperity. Yeah? So you will feel that presence, that vibe, that really kind of just stops your heart for a second and takes your breath away. It was built by Kamehameha I, and that was between 1812 up to 1813, of course, to honor the god Lono that we spoke about. And then it served as his personal refuge. Not only that, it was also the place where King Kamehameha the Great passed away. Now, a modern-day view of the restored temple is this, what we would see from our tender boat, yeah? So this tender boat will bring us in the heart of it all into the Kailua Bay, which was built in 1915, and it served as a major port for cattle shipping, yeah? Now, I'm not going to go into details how badly that cattle was treated, yeah? But the pier is in the actual center for the water adventures, the fishing charters. You also have some snorkeling trips. There's a great place to watch the daily catches. You'll see the fishermen in the afternoon. They pull out great marlins. They bring them to this area. And so it's also a great place to watch sunsets. If, your heart would like to enjoy a Hawaiian sunset. But of course, at that time, we might be already up on the ship. Now, this also was serving as the starting gate inside the Ironman. So when they start, it's held in October. The Ironman triathlon, yeah? So this is the gate where they start the race. So, it's good to know as you'll be walking off the tender boat and looking into this long drive called Ali'i Drive. And this is located on the waterfront. It has an abundance of historical sites. It's a real shopping mecca. Lots of shopping malls at the edge of the town, and Kailua Kona might seem and appear like a beach town, but it's actually not. The beaches are a little bit further out of town. We'll get to that still. So moving along, you would find this church. This is called Moku Aika. Yeah? Ua. Moku Aika Ua. Let's try it. Moku Aika Ua. 3, 2, 1. Moku Aika Ua Church. There you go. Why to remember that church? Because the construction of this oldest church in all of Hawaii began in 1820. That is impressive, yeah? And it began with the blessings of King Lihu, which was the son of the late King Kamehameha, and it was completed in 1836, constructed on top of lava rock. So as you can see, the tower, this is 112 feet tall tower, and of course it's one of the tallest man-made structures in Hawaii. It's about a 7-minute walk. If you started straight from the pier and went straight to the church, you wouldn't be able to miss it. Located on the main drag. I'll show you on the map, yeah? But there's going to be distractions along the way, ladies. Now, a couple of miles from the church, you can also find this Hulihe'e Palace. I won't make you do it again. It's overlooking the harbor, and this is a 2-story high New England style mansion. Also built of lava rock and coral mortar, yeah? And this dates back to 1838. So a lot of old history here. That's great. We love history. And I mean, without the past, we can have no future. If you don't know where you're from, you can't tell where you're going to go to. So the former vacation, this was home to Hawaiian royalty and is converted to a museum, and it was run by the Daughters of Hawaii, showcasing the 19th century furniture and style and ornaments and artifacts. It opens up at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is truly a must-see part of history if you're interested in Kona and Kona's history and in general in Hawaii's history. Now, another popular thing to do in Kona is the farmers market, and this opens up at 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's you see, it's this fertile volcanic soil that helps these incredible plants to grow and gives them such rich taste that we are not used to. And there's almost 7 different farmers market around Kona, but we're going to focus on the one that's the closest to us. Yeah, that's about 10-minute walk from the hustle and bustle of the city of this town, and you find yourself picking up some local grocery, locally grown produce, and you have some flowers, the handmade arts and crafts, soaking up the local scene. But don't forget, you have to have coffee as well. It's about 40 vendors that will truly charm your heart, yes? So this is where the anchoring position will be approximately. Of course, it depends on the tide, yeah? Our ship can come closer when the water is higher. The lower the water, the further we are away. Also depends on the waves, yeah, how much wind is happening in the bay, and that affects the arrival of the tenders. So it could be 10 to 15 minutes to reach Kailua Pier, which is right here. And remember the temple, Ahuena Heiau. Heiau. So this is about a 10 to 15 minute walk from the pier. And this is the alley drive that we spoke about. Yeah, the waterfront promenade. We can see the oldest church in all of Hawaii located right here. We have the Hulihe'e Palace again here, constructed in, we said 1830 something, 1838 I believe. And then farmers market as well, as we said, about 10 minutes from all the hustle and bustle, and you will find it in no time. Now, there will be souvenir shops and the seafood restaurants that are absolutely exquisite and for you to try. And of course, a lot of tourist information booths, yeah? They will sell all kinds of activity for us. There's a complimentary shuttle service, which is usually provided from the pier going all the way up to Walmart, yeah? There's also rent-a-car services that send their shuttles to the pier and then take you to the agencies to collect your cars, yeah? So we are well taken care of, eh? We're expected, let's say. And there's local tours that are there. For those who are traveling independently, might have not just yet booked a tour. You don't have to really worry much. They'll be there and ready with brochures and maps. And of course, answering all of our questions. Now, if we were heading out of town, a little further out would be about 15-minute drive, is another historical church. And this one is called the St. Peter's Church. And this is one of the most photographed churches in the island of Hawaii. It's still located on the Alley Drive, and it's known as the Little Blue Church. Just look at it. It's pretty little, and it's blue. So not hard to remember. It was also built back in 1839. Wow. And so it doesn't have any scheduled services. They have some small weddings occurring, but that's mostly throughout the weekend, yeah? Now, another thing I want to emphasize is driving along the west coast of Hawaii Island will feel like you're crossing the crater of the moon, yeah? This basalt lava, which formed by volcanoes, by two big volcanoes. One is the Mauna Kea, no? Yeah? Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea. Let's try it. Mauna Kea. Yeah, that's a nice pronunciation there. Mauna Kea. And the other one is Huala Lai. Oh, just checking. Okay, so you have heard of them before. Huala Lai, yeah? Huala Lai and Mauna Kea, they have formed this stretch that we're looking at here. And it connects Hilo and Kona. It's called Saddle Road, yeah? And this is considered among the most spectacular roads in the world. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, I so want to rent a car and drive here, yeah? Well, make sure you ask your rental car agency if you are allowed to drive on this route, because it's about a 55-mile long drive of your lifetime. It is. It's sensational. It's going through these four climates. You got the tropical forest, the deserts, the lush grasslands, and also mountaintops, which are covered with fog. It's absolutely spectacular. And it's considered to be on most of the bucket list drives, yeah, most of the bucket list drives for all travelers that go around the world. And so another way to get out of town is to go above it, yeah? And so the most epic and time-effective way to do that in the island of Hawaii, which is truly one of the most unforgettable ways, is, of course, by a helicopter. And so we are looking here is a Kohala Coast. Kohala Coast is simply magnificent. The sheer beauty and that moment when you look at it and from above and you realize how small we actually are in this majestic world, yeah? So Mother Nature has truly outdone itself in this case. And it's worth making the investment with this being the highlight of your trip for sure. Now, another thing, and this is something I've been practicing all night. Yeah, so this is a temple of refuge, and we'll get into details in a minute, but let's try to learn how to say that, yeah? It's not as hard as it looks. So we would start with Pu'u Honua. Let's try it. Pu'u Honua. Pu'u Honua o Nau Nau. Yeah? Well done. Okay. O Nau Nau. Let's try it. Pu'u Honua o Nau Nau. Well done. So Pu'u Honua o Nau Nau is a national historical park. Up until the 19th century, the Hawaiians who broke the law, which is called kapu, would escape to this place of refuge. They would avoid punishment. The Great Wall that encloses the Pu'u o Nau, of course, served for several generations to the powerful chiefs. And we can actually still feel that presence of peace and forgiveness that surrounds this place and this blissful special place, and it's full of hiking trails, and there's traditional cultural activities that happen inside. They're making baskets from coconuts and dry leaves, and it's all demonstrated in the park, so it's educational as well as liberating. Yeah, it opens up at 7 a.m. and closes 15 minutes after sunset. But if you would like to spend your day under a palm tree, and of course, hopefully the weather will treat us well, this coast, of course, just look at the picture, offers the organic volcanic soil that we can have an experience of that not a lot of people are, encountering around the world. So a lot of water activities taking place, and they say a little magic can take you a long way. And it might be a little bit more difficult to reach, but it could take you all the way to this magical place. This is accessed by trolleys, taxis, Ubers, Lyft, and you can expect them to be quite crowded, yeah? Because the magic comes from the disappearing sand. You see, when it's a rough night before, like a stormy night, the next day the sand won't be there anymore. So that's why they named it the Magical Beach, Magical Sand Beach. It has facilities, restrooms, picnic tables, and a lifeguard on duty. But if the sun comes out after, I don't know, a cloudy day, and you are not planning to go further away, but you would like to stay in the shelter of our bay, here it is. That is another beach which is next to the pier, and this is right in front of King Kamehameha Hotel. The beach, of course, is called Kamakahonu Beach, and it's super convenient. Of course, it's not large, so it does get busy very quickly, but it is located along the shoreline and with excellent opportunities for collection of water activities, including this experience that's taken its path from there. It's a glass bottom boat where you can see the abundance of this eco-life, this ecosystem beneath us, yeah, and this, of course, without getting wet. A little bit more adventurous for some, heading out on a Zodiac, which smashes through the waves, and you can get up and close to the lava formations, whether you're booking here on board, or you can also just take one of the tours, as we mentioned, outside of the pier. Captain Zodiac is a lot of fun, and it's a divine opportunity also to snorkel, to see turtles, to see encounter with dolphins, and an array of colorful fish. Back to Captain Cook, who started it all. A famed explorer, a cartographer, Captain James Cook. This is a name we're going to hear often during this voyage and also on the islands as well. And this is escorted with, of course, a legend that we already touched upon. They sailed in the Kealakekua Bay, and of course were accepted by the locals, and they stayed there for several weeks, and then leaving the port a bit and coming back. It is believed that Captain was struck in the head and stabbed near the same spot where he had first set foot, yeah, where he stood first on the island, and then a large monument was placed there in the year of 1874, and that was on the order by Princess Like, and this was then deeded to the United Kingdom in 1877. Mind you, there's different stories out there when it comes to Captain Cook, and we'll get more to it in an actual presentation dedicated to this great man alone. The chain of monuments that is around, it's escorted with 4 cannons that are actually taken from the ship HMS Phantom. And as we said, it marks the approximate location where he passed away. This, if it's a clear day and the waters are clean, you can have a really good snorkeling experience here. This is actually a really good place to snorkel, and you can reach the monument by a boat, a kayak, or a 4-mile walk. Yeah. Or the catamaran, the Zodiac that we mentioned, they all pass by here. We're looking at our map again. Now this one is out of town. Where are we located? So we are anchoring inside over here, and it takes about 15 minutes to reach St. Peter's Church. And the Magic Sands Beach is not farther away. It would be 17-minute drive. Now you see here, Kealakekua, we are talking about at least a 40-minute, 30 to 40-minute distance. And of course, our a refuge center which saved those who broke the law back in the Hawaiian days, the old Hawaiian past. So here we have it about 40 to 45-minute drive from our anchoring from the pier, and up to Kohala Coast, another 40-minute drive up. Even though it seems longer, it's a little bit faster to reach. But mind you, every distance is connected with the traffic. And here the traffic can actually be worse or close to the one of Los Angeles, And on this note, I also wanted to mention back to the tendering. So by show of hands, how many of you have done tendering before? Oh la la. Wow. Okay. So this is more than, well, pretty much everybody. There's just a few individuals that are perhaps new to this process. It's just the fact that we have approximately 2,000 guests on board, and we have to create a method of crowd control. And so, therefore, we distribute the tickets. The tickets will be distributed probably inside the BB King's Blues Club, but just make sure you check the daily program for those infos. And then once you receive your ticket, you will hear your number called, and then you proceed towards the gangway. Just keep an eye on the program as we arrive the night before. So that would be Lahaina night. Yes, Lahaina night. When you are back on board, check the when and where. We are anchoring on the first day of March. Wonderful. And it's going to be a Friday, approximately at 8 a.m. And the last tender back will be at 5:30 p.m. Once again, the tender process will start at approximately 8 a.m. Just make sure you check the daily program. And then for those of you who are on an EXC tour, please remember to just check your tour tickets. It's going to say the meeting place and the meeting time. It's really important because it's a tender pier. So you could be meeting on the ship or off the ship at the pier. Yeah, so important to check. Once again, to repeat what we can find in the pier of this beautiful bay of Kona. So it is a traditional warm Hawaiian welcome that accepts us inside. They welcome us with restrooms and information booth. The tours, the shuttles, everything is available there, and an easy stroll into town with all the major, well, the main sites of this little place. Now, getting around, you can also take part of the trolley. This is the Kona trolley, which is provided. Now, mind you, it goes every 2 hours. Yeah, the first one starts at 9:40, but it's not narrated. It's just taking and connecting all the sites that we mentioned. Yeah. So that is good to know. It's not pricey at all. It's $2 per person if they haven't changed it. Yeah, might be 3. So let's just check that out before we ask and so on, before we go on. But you'll have to have the exact change. Yeah, that is also very important. For many, the word Kona, of course, symbolizes the word coffee. Yes? Have you tried Kona's coffee before? This is usually the main thing when guests are purchasing souvenirs, yeah? So this is a good idea for a souvenir. Anybody that you bring Kona coffee, of course, it's not low priced. It can be quite expensive, reaching a little bit deeper in our wallets, but it's the mineral-rich volcanic soil that gives this coffee a special flavor. And actually, Kona was the first, I believe, actually still today, the only U.S. State that produces coffee commercially, and it was planted on the slopes of Mount Hualalai that we mentioned at the start. And it's just like champagne, just like champagne. The Kona coffee originates from the Big Island, and no other place can call it that. So we can therefore find about 650 coffee farms in Kona. But I would like to share with you another tale, and this one is truly divine. So, the story, the legend of a naupaka flower. Yeah, it's just one of those many of the blooming flowers that we find of the beaches around the islands. And legend has it that 2 lovers were forbidden from loving one another. And so they found each other on a lonely beach close to this mountain forest. And the flower naupaka was the flower that you can see, one flower, so as a whole. Yeah, it was used for medicinal purposes. Now, on the day when the couple was caught, there was a chief. Yeah, so the chief caught them and announced the punishment. He said, "The beautiful maiden, you will be sent to the mountain forest. The young man, you will stay at the shores of the ocean." They both cried and they asked for forgiveness, but the chief had no choice. The eternal separation broke their hearts. So before they each walked away to their site, the young man pickled the whole naupaka flower and split it in 2. He gave one to the maiden and he kept the other part. And he said, "Someday we will be together again. and we will be united as this beautiful flower once more. So today, every time you pickle half of the flower and you join it with another half, you reunite the love of two different entities. Ah? Now, that is a beautiful thing to do. But also, I would like to touch upon found in the mountains and the beaches. Yeah, it stands for Mauka and Makai. So those are the two most common directions that are given in the island. Yeah, you can say Mauka, meaning go up to the flowers, or you can say Makai, towards to the sea. And this is called shaka. Good job. Let's all show our shakas, huh? Come on. Yeah, this was adopted from the local Hawaiian culture, of course, by the surfers that visited back in the 1960s, and they spread it around the world. It's a gesture of thank you, of acknowledgement, and we can all just try to shaka our way throughout the day. Maybe all the way to the 19th Academy Awards that starts to be played at 2:30, and that is in the BB King's Blues Club. Ukulele will therefore be moved up to the Exploration Central. And of course, we have another magical Aloha Music Hour that takes place at 5 p.m. That's our final one today. But if you visit one thing, make it this one, the Polynesian Lei. And that is hosted by our magnificent Hawaiian lecturer, Kailua de la Cruz. Thank you so much for joining me. Ahui ho, yeah? Ahui ho. See you again. Aloha. Mahalo.